How's it going, everyone? This is Nick. I'm back here with another Reventure YouTube cast, and today we're going to take a deep data dive into the Dallas, Texas real estate market. And we're going to answer the question, what are the best neighborhoods and zip codes for real estate growth and appreciation in Dallas going forward? So if you're a home buyer, if you're a real estate investor in Dallas, you're going to want to watch this video because by the end of it, you're going to have actionable insights on what the best locations are to buy a home or buy an investment property in Dallas. Now, I've been really excited about doing this video because Dallas is my personal favorite real estate market in Texas. You know, Austin gets a lot of press. A lot of people talk about Houston, but it's really Dallas which has the best investment fundamentals going forward. So I'm really excited to take the data and look more specifically and answer the question, what are the best locations in Dallas for real estate? So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start things off with a bit of a geography lesson because Dallas is actually a really massive place. The Dallas metro area has a population of over 7.5 million. That's the fourth largest in the US. And you can see on this map, we're looking at the counties which comprise the Dallas metro area. And the ones that I want you to focus on are the ones in green. That would be Dallas County with a population of 2.7 million, Tarrant County with a population of 2.1, Collin County with a population of a little over 1 million, and then Denton County with a population a little less than 1 million. These four counties are really where all the action is in Dallas, and if you're a home buyer or a real estate investor, it's going to be these counties which you're going to probably want to be focusing on. Now, the first place I like to look when evaluating real estate prospects in different cities is growth. Which areas have the highest population growth? And you can see it's actually not even close here. Collin and Denton County are both around plus 40% population growth over the last 10 years. That's almost 4% a year. That's insane. There's very few large counties that hit those metrics. Now we look south, Dallas and Tarrant County, the population growth rates aren't as good, plus 13%, plus 17%. We're adding less and less people on a relative basis to Dallas and Tarrant as we are to Collin and Denton. Now, in addition, when we look at income, and in this case, we're looking at median household income, that's what the middle class household is earning, we can see that income is much higher in Collin County, almost 100,000. In Denton, it's almost 90,000. Compare that to 60,000 in Dallas, 67,000 in Tarrant. So when we have the middle class family earning almost 50% more in these northern counties, it's something that we want to take note of. Now, at this point, you're probably saying to yourself, this is a no-brainer. Collin County, Denton County, that's where I need to look as a home buyer or real estate investor because the growth rates are much higher and the incomes are much higher. I'm going to tell you to stop right there because it's not that simple. Remember, real estate is about supply and demand. It's not just about demand. So demand, population growth, income, it's not just about that. It's also about supply. And the dirty little secret that Collin and Denton counties have is that they're building ridiculous amounts of new homes and apartments every year. They're building so many, in fact, that despite having better population growth and incomes, they have much lower real estate value appreciation. That's right. So over the last 5 years, home values have grown by 51% in Dallas County, 46% in Tarrant County, according to data from Zillow. If you guys are enjoying the data presented in this video, please leave a like, comment, and hit subscribe down below. I love making these videos. It makes it easier for me to make these videos if you guys interact with them. So leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think, if there's any other markets you want me to pursue, and make sure to subscribe. All right. Back to the video. That's roughly double the appreciation rates in Collin and Denton County, which are around 23 to 28%. So this is just like really funky. Collin and Denton County crushing it in terms of population growth and income, but lagging in terms of real estate value growth. The real estate value growth has been in Dallas and Tarrant County. And if you want kind of a visual representation as to why this is, let's look at this aerial map. Right? And from this aerial map, we can get a good sense of population density. So if we zoom in on Dallas here, the orange box, we just see lots of density, lots of homes, lots of office buildings, not many places to build new homes and apartments. But if we zoom up to Collin County, we see the exact opposite. It has a little bit of density here to the south, into the middle. But then once we get north, ooh, Nelly, there is a lot of land up here. Lots and lots of land, lots and lots of room to build new homes and new apartments. Denton, very similar situation, lots and lots of land, right? I mean, if we look, here's like downtown Denton. You don't need to go very far to get to cornfields. So that's really important to consider. If you're buying a home or buying a real estate investment property and you care about appreciation, you would rather buy in a denser area that's less likely to have lots of new homes and apartments built. Lots of new homes and apartments typically means increased supply and kind of an oversupply of housing, a housing glut. That is why Collin and Denton counties have not done as well in terms of appreciation. So what I'm going to recommend to you, if you're a home buyer or a real estate investor who really cares about appreciation, and that's your main goal and main thing, focus on Dallas and Tarrant counties. That's where the most supply restriction is. That's where the highest appreciation is going to occur going forward. If you go up to Collin, if you go up to Denton, there might be a nice lifestyle up there, but from an appreciation standpoint, it's going to be much lower because every builder, every developer is going to be throwing up new subdivisions left and right, and it's just going to be much harder for values to grow. Of course, that's not enough just to know the county. We got to dig in further and say, what are the neighborhoods, what are the zip codes within these counties where we want to buy real estate, where appreciation is going to be the best going forward. And the way I like to start getting familiar with the local areas by looking at home value by zip code. And so on this map, the greener the shaded zip code, the more expensive the home value. So for instance, 75205, that's in Highland Park, University Park area of Dallas. Typical home value is $1.3 million according to Zillow's Home Value Index. If we go over to 76092 in Southlake in Tarrant County, typical home value is $800,000. That's where like the most expensive homes are. That's where a lot of the money is. That is where you do not want to be as a real estate investor who cares about appreciation. The thing that's pretty evident from looking at this map is that it's basically to the north where the wealth and the home prices are high in Dallas. It's to the north. That's where all the green is. If we go south, well, that's where all the blue is. That's where all the lower home values. You see 160,000. You see 160,000 again. 190, 200, 180. So the affordability and the lower prices are south in Dallas. The wealth and the expensive homes are north. Now, I'm going to flip this map. Instead of just looking at value, we're going to look at how much prices have gone up over the last 5 years. And get ready for this. It's the exact opposite. So once again, let's look at where current home prices are. The highest prices are to the north, lowest prices to the south. We look at growth in prices over the last 5 years. It's the exact opposite. So the highest growth is to the south in Dallas. It's to where the affordability is. We can see there's certain zip codes here which have like almost tripled their value in the last 5 years. Down here south of Dallas, here in Fort Worth, we're seeing tons and tons of like plus 100% growth rate, plus 98% growth rate, plus 116% growth rate. We zoom up to, let's go back to Highland Park, plus 16%, much lower. We go up to like Plano and Collin County, plus 17%. So most of the appreciation in the growth in real estate values in Dallas has been south over the last 5 years. So why is that? Why is most of the growth and appreciation south? Well, this is a trend that I have seen all across the country. You know, I've done videos now on 6 or 7 different cities doing this, and it's almost always the more affordable zip codes that are dense and somewhat close to like the downtown area, but not in the downtown area. Those are the zip codes that tend to do the best in terms of appreciation. I think probably because there's some level of like gentrification occurring in these zip codes where like they're kind of near wealthy areas, but they're not in wealthy areas. So they're starting to be spillover. And that's basically like a trend that's pretty universal all across the US. These are the areas that have done best over the last 5 years and I think are going to continue to do best into the future. So we're going to dig into some of these zip codes a little more. I isolated every zip code that's experienced over 100%, basically a doubling in values over the last 5 years. You can see it's not very many, but these are the ones, and they're heavily concentrated kind of south of Dallas's downtown area. The first one that sticks out is 75216. That zip code has been a plus 165% over the last 5 years. That is absurd. That is crazy growth. 75203 plus 142% over the last 5 years. 75224 plus 140%. 75223 also plus 100%. The zip code that I actually really want to key in on though is 75208. So this zip code has seen a doubling in values plus 104%, but you might notice that this zip code is a little different to some of these other ones because the value today of 343,000 is much higher than these surrounding ones. So this zip code, it's and we'll call it the Bishop Arts District, and this is one of like the fastest growing, most gentrifying, hipstery areas in Dallas. Lots of cool shops, restaurants, lots of cool like renovated homes, new buildings. This is where lots of really cool gentrification growth is in Dallas, and it's really benefiting these zip codes to the south and southeast. So 75208 is kind of driving the bus on all of these zip codes just below it, improving. Now, it's always important to remember past growth does not necessarily equal future growth. In fact, if you look historically, some of the markets and zip codes that got hit the hardest in the previous housing crash in the late 2000s are the ones that had the highest growth before the crash. So you want to look at more than just previous growth to inform your investment decisions. You want to look at the fundamentals. And Reventure Consulting has identified 3 key fundamental characteristics of different neighborhoods and zip codes that make them good for growth into the future. The first of those characteristics is having an educated population. Having college degrees, having an educated population living in your zip code often precedes increases in income and value. It's kind of a leading indicator. So we want to see college degrees. The second thing we want to see is walkability. We don't need necessarily the most walkable location, but we at least want average walkability in terms of people's ability to walk from their home to the grocery store or to the supermarket or to go get their haircut. So we want walkability. The third thing we want is affordability. Right? We don't necessarily want to pay for that highly priced Highland Park zip code where it's over $1 million. That area is not going to grow very much. We want a place that's affordable where there's still room to grow. So combining these 3 fundamentals is going to give us a much better chance of investing in zip codes that have durable, long-run appreciation. All right, so we're back here on the zip code map in Dallas. And what we're going to do is start filtering. So we're going to start with college degree rate, basically the percentage of the population in the zip code that has a college degree, and I'm going to set that minimum at 25%. And you can see right off the bat, we eliminated a lot of these southern zip codes south of Dallas that have done really well the last 5 years, but I'm saying because they don't have a certain base level of like education and income, I don't necessarily trust those zip codes going forward. Now, the next thing we're going to layer on is walkability. I want a minimum walk score of 50. 100 is the highest. I want a minimum walk score of 50. Wow, you can see that we just eliminated pretty much all of these suburban and rural zip codes to the north. Pretty much everything in Collin, Denton County is gone, and we're left with much more urban, kind of denser zip codes in Dallas and Fort Worth. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want affordability, so I'm going to put a max home price, a max typical home price at $250,000 according to Zillow's Home Value Index. All right, now we're left with about 6 or 7 zip codes that meet our fundamental criteria. Let's run through them one by one. So we're starting with 75235. We have a college degree rate of over 30%. That's not bad. Walk score of 60, above average, and typical value of 200,000. That is affordable. This looks like a zip code that is primed to do well. It's also close to some other pretty wealthy, high density areas here, Highland Park, Uptown, and Dallas. I like this zip code going forward. If we go a little further north, we have 75243. We can see college degree rate of 28%, walk score of 50, typical value of 226,000. This is just south of Richardson. I like this zip code as well for going forward. If we zoom west towards Arlington, we have 76013. You can see a college degree rate of almost 40%, the highest we've seen yet, walk score of 60, typical value of 238. This looks like a great zip code that combines a lot of good things in terms of educated population, above average walk score. If we just go one below, 76015, college degree rate not nearly as high, walk score not as high, a little more affordable. And then the last one that popped up was here in Denton, 76201. 44% college degree rate, 66 walk score, 220 typical value. This might be one of the best looking in terms of these characteristics. Now, what I said before, Denton, you don't need to go very far to build a lot of new housing. So, just if you go a little bit this way, it's cornfields. Kind of might be a little riskier because of that, but some of these metrics look really strong. So maybe give 76201 a consideration. So we just used data to narrow all of Dallas down to 5 or 6 zip codes that we think have the best combination of growth potential and security for your real estate investment. So whether you're a home buyer or a real estate investor, it's really important to use data like this to inform your investment decision-making process. If you want to learn more about how data can help you with your real estate investment search, or if you want to learn how to do this yourself, please go to www.reventureconsulting.com, my website, and leave a contact form. Leave your name, email address, and a brief message about what you want to do in real estate, and I'll make sure to get back to you. Please also leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I love making these videos, and it makes me easier to make these videos if you guys interact with them. So leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think, if there's any other markets you want me to explore going forward, and make sure to subscribe. Until next time, this is Nick from Reventure Consulting signing off.